Hi guys, my name is John and I'm a lover of luxury and I'm a lover of YouTube. I've been a lover of luxury since I left the hospital in a Gucci sailor onesie with matching shoes. True story. And I've been a lover of YouTube for the last 10 years. Thank you so much for subscribing, watching, liking, whatever. Please share this video. And if you like what I'm doing here and want to join, the goal is to kind of create a community. So please feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications so that way you get a notification whenever I post a video. I'm going to be posting videos every Monday and every Thursday. Please subscribe, because if you subscribe, it means that you don't have a luxury problem, and also selfishly it means that I don't either. So we're going to get to a collection here that is almost as concerning as my shoe collection, which is a video I have not filmed yet, and that is Chanel handbags. So this is the 5th installment, oh God help me, on my personal Chanel collection. Chanel handbags for me are it. I love them. I started with a wallet on chain like most people do that my fiance got me for my birthday one year, and now it's kind of exploded into this situation. So the way that I figured I would show you guys everything, I put all my bags on hangers just so that way I'm not like fumbling and like trying to do some kind of Martha Graham interpretive dance. So I figured we'll kind of breeze through them quickly. If there's a more in-depth review you want, please feel free to comment down below. I don't want this to be a 9.5-hour video because it unfortunately certainly has the potential to become that. So let's get started. I'm going to start with bags I have hanging first, and then we'll kind of end with ones on the bottom. A lot of the ones that I have hanging are Chanel flat bags. Chanel flat bags are my favorite. I love them. I love them because I know exactly what I can fit in them. Everything can be super organized, and a controversial opinion, but it is mine and I own it. I love a double flap. Double flaps from Chanel are my favorite. That's when you have that extra flap that goes over the compartment, the main compartment where your things go. The reason I love it is because there's an additional pocket in the back, and that's where my phone goes. So my phone always has a good spot that fits. I have an iPhone 10 because I still haven't gotten it together to upgrade yet, but it always fits perfectly in the back, and I enjoy them for their organization. So I have everything kind of laid out here in color coordinated order, so let's get to it. So first one is gonna be my white double flap. This guy is in this small size. It's white with gold. It was repainted, which I appreciate. And the reason I got this guy, besides the fact that I wanted a white bag, was the fact that it's actually from the town that I was originally born in Texas, from Plano. So the second I saw it was from Plano, and then I also saw that the chain was long enough that I could crossbody. She had to be mine. So that is my white small double flap. Next guy is not a flat bag, but it is a really important piece of my collection, and that is my Chanel camera bag. This guy is from the 80s. White, I'm pretty sure, is from 90s. And this guy I love because it is in lizard skin. This I purchased from Leslie Hindman Auctions at an auction earlier this year. The skins are in absolutely beautiful condition, excuse me. And it is fully lined with red leather. The reason that I got this was because at the beginning of last year, Chanel stopped producing exotics, which I think is a very smart move and a very conscious move. But I did want to have one, if not a couple, in my collection. And since I'm obviously not buying it firsthand, I feel a little less guilty about owning it. And it also features a beautiful red silk-lined pocket. She crossbodies beautifully. She's got a tassel. She's fabulous. Thank you, Leslie Hindman. I absolutely love her. Next one is another novelty color for me. Obviously, we are moving in the direction of the rainbow here, so it is orange. This guy is also in the smaller size here. You can see in comparison with my white flat bag, a little bit older, a little bit newer. This guy has silver hardware. I absolutely love this. The color is looking great on here, but I can guarantee you in person it's even more beautiful. This is in lambskin, but it was made quite a few years ago, so it was like early 2000s, so the quality of the lamb is absolutely fabulous. I love, love, love her. I wear her all the time, and she was made in France. So for those of us flat bag snobs, that's a very exciting piece of information. So that is my little Tic Tac as a collar. Yellow is a color I don't have yet, but it is next on the list there for me. So I'm skipping over yellow and going to green. So this guy is an old lady. She is in the medium size, and it's in this really beautiful olive. This guy is also a double flap, and I love her. She is about as old can get, and that's why I love her. This was also a bag that was made in France and has the original plated hardware and the more cool kind of squared off detail at the hardware. And then also the turn lock is a really pretty triangle too. So again, she is an older lady, and she is living a nice, beautiful, peaceful, and chic life with me here. One thing I don't like about the older flat bags is the chain is a lot shorter, excuse me. So I do kind of have to clutch them or one shoulder them. I really prefer more recent flaps because the chain is longer. So it sits at like a really nice kind of like European crossbody height, which is nice for me because in Chicago, when I'm actually motivated and not feeling lazy, I do take public transportation. So it's nice just to have everything a lot closer to me. At first it was an adjustment, but I got used to it and now I love it. This guy is my first bag in navy. This is also my first flat bag from Chanel. So this guy is super important to me. I love her so much. This is actually a gift I received from Steve, and it is from the first year that Carl produced the classic. So this guy is from 1984, which is the first year that Carl produced them. You can see it's older because, again, it does also have the more squared off CC and then the triangle shaped turn lock. This guy's absolutely beautiful. It's double flap, burgundy interior, and I just absolutely adore her. Again, the chain's a little short, which is kind of annoying, and stupidly when I first bought it, I decided I would hook a strap through the top, so she's got a little triangle situation going on, although truthfully she had that before I got it. It is done in lambskin. It's laminated absolutely beautifully. I might actually send this off to Chanel to have it re-gilded and the chain reset. I do know that there are restoration services that they do offer, and I could potentially see if they also could just get me a longer chain so that way I could crossbody her. But she's in the medium size in beautiful laminated lambskin, and I just absolutely adore her. The vintage flat bags are super cool because, again, the details are a little different compared to what you would normally look for. So at first when I started collecting the vintage ones, I get really thrown off and be like, oh my God, is this fake? But then you literally, there's an entirely different set of requirements in terms of authentication for them, because Chanel was still really kind of figuring the bag out, because that's how old those two are, my olive as well as my navy. This is another old lady in my collection, but I love her. She is a little rectangular flap, kind of equivalent, I guess, to what we would call a rectangular flap nowadays. She is a single flap, so this is the only single in my collection in kind of a navy leather, navy lambskin. She's really gushy, and she is laminating beautifully. So I love this guy. I carry this all the time. Next one is going to be probably my most used flat bag from Chanel, and that is this baby. Please ignore the chain. This is another one that I need to get sent out to have fixed. This is in Chanel's classic beige eclair color. I love her. I love her. I love her. I love this guy because it's also from the year that I was born, so that's kind of cool. She is also a double flap, features gold hardware, and she was also made in France. This is the bag that I cannot stop using, which is part of the reason that I've had a difficult time literally trying to take it to Chanel to send it off, because there's, I mean, anything that I wear, this is going to work with. I absolutely love her. She has been amazing, and I can't imagine my Chanel collection / my bag life in general without this guy. So she is here to stay, and I love her. Next one for me is in gray. I'm still having difficulty with the hangers, and that is another double flap. I think this guy was originally sold in kind of like a khaki brown color, and then the person that I bought this from over-dyed it in gray, which is actually kind of cool because I prefer the gray anyway. She is a double flap as well too, with the beige interior, also made in France, and she is an early 90s baby. I absolutely love her. I wanted a fabric bag in my collection, and I wear a lot of gray, so gray was going to be really great for me. And as you can see, it has a camellia overstitch on top, so she is super fun. No quilting, which is unique but also exciting for me at the same time because, again, she presents something a little bit different to my collection. Next one for me, this is the second flap bag that I bought after buying my Navy Lady that Steve helped me get, and this is a Chanel Diana. The Diana was named for Princess Diana because she carried it. She was actually kind of like a bag trendsetter if you think about it, because Dior also named the Lady Dior after her as well too. The thing that I love about this guy and what makes her so special is the bicolor hardware. So as you see, half of this C is in gold and the other half is in silver. This is a very limited version of the Diana that they released, so I'm very happy to have one in my collection. Dianas are different than flap bags because, as you can see, you do have a piece of just straight up leather here in addition to the quilting. Excuse me. This guy is a double flap Chanel, and she was made in France. So this is in a beautiful navy lambskin, but the thing is the navy is, black, but the black kind of sits right in the middle. So if I wear it with navy, it reads navy. If I wear it with black, it reads black. And I also love the kind of different shape on the base here. With the quilting, chain is long enough that I can kind of awkwardly crossbody it, but I still love her nonetheless. She's an important piece or milestone, if you will, in my collection. Speaking of important pieces, this is one of my other babies. This is my first tweed bag from Chanel. This is a flap bag that is in black tweed and trimmed with gold. She is a single flap, so she was the second single flap I ever purchased. She was also made in France. And if I can get it to focus correctly, you can see it's actually a houndstooth pattern. So there's two different types of boucle here. So there's more of kind of like what we would consider like a Lesage fantasy tweed with some lurex, and then there's also a more flat wool boucle that's in the background. So it's a houndstooth pattern, and this is from my favorite, one of my top favorites. I was just thinking, I was like, oh my god, do I want to label that as my favorite? One of my favorite Chanel collections, tied for first place, that's the best place to put it. The 1991 fall winter hip hop collection that Carl did. Absolutely loved it. That's when Carl brought denim. He brought leather jackets, so much stuff to Chanel, and this bag was actually featured. It comes in 2 other colors as well that I know of, and eventually I will have the trio because I love all of them so much. So the black came to me first, and yeah, I love her. She's a great little piece of Chanel history from one of my favorite collections. My final flap bag in the collection, and my most recent, is my first 255. So this is a Chanel 255 in the jersey, and this is in the 227 size. So this is equivalent to a Chanel Jumbo. It is in purple jersey. The color is not showing up correctly on camera, but it's absolutely stunning and has a lighter purple stitch. I'm actually going to be switching out the one that I'm currently carrying to wear this to go meet a friend for lunch. Interior is also lined in purple, and she was made in Italy. I believe this is from like 2012, 2013. And then it has the kind of aged silver hardware with the original Mademoiselle chain. Love this bag. I just got this probably 2 weeks ago, I'd say, and I haven't been able to stop carrying it. I love classics and I love 255s. I have a place for both of them in my heart, and I will make more space for them in my bag closet as well. Love, love, love these. I love that they're a little bit more discreet, and the purple is a super fun addition. Next bag that is not a flat bag, my first not flat bag that I've showed you, well, that's not true besides camera case, but in general, is my Chanel girl bag. I love this bag. This was they tried to make this a thing. It didn't really work. Super underrated, and truthfully, I'm obsessed with it. It's done in lambskin, and the best thing about the girl bag is that it's designed to look like a Chanel cardigan. So as you saw in my Chanel cardigan video, your girl's a fan of Chanel cardigans. So if you can make a handbag look like a Chanel cardigan, I am 100% there. I love that it has a little pocket here behind the collar of it. And I think one of the smartest things about it is that the straps look like sleeves, including buttons on them. It's such a great everyday bag. And I think once messenger bags start coming back in again, I will for sure pick up another one, if not 2 or 3, because mine is in black lambskin trimmed with like a black patent lambskin, and I would really like to get some of the tweed ones that went down the runway, but oh my god, it's just so amazing. Okay, now we are on to things that are on the floor because I didn't have enough space to hang them. Next one is one of my first Chanel purchases in terms of a handbag. I bought this and Steve helped pay for it, and that is my Chanel wallet on chain. This is not in Caviar, it's not in lambskin, it's not anything that you would normally see. This is actually from the Chanel travel line, which was a limited collection they did for a while in a nylon jacquard. So you can see the black CC, and then it also has so black hardware. I love this. I used to carry this at my old job, literally on the sales floor. Like, this was where my work keys were, my business cards were, this was my wallet, this was my phone holder, everything. I love this bag. I haven't used it in a while just because I ended up switching to an O case, so I have a little bit more real estate to work with, but I still love her nonetheless. Next piece is a Raffia clutch trimmed in brown leather. This was also a present from Steve because he knows what I like. And it's Chanel, obviously. And the cool thing about this guy is it's actually 2 pieces. So this guy was made in France, I believe. Oh, made in Italy. Okay, don't listen to me. And this is a pretty early on lady here. It has a 5.5 series. It's a 5.5 series. So she is pretty old and up there, but I absolutely love her. This is really great. Whenever we go to Hilton Head, I'm carrying this. Spring, summer, I'm carrying this. And I always get excited to pull her out of her OG dust bag and use her because people always stop me and ask about it. The one annoying thing is if you're holding it under your arm and you go like this with your armpit, it will fall. So I've had to train myself on how to effectively carry that. Next piece, which kind of falls into an SLG, kind of falls into luxury travel, but I have carried it as a clutch before, is a Chanel leather Dopp kit that is from the 80s. I purchased this from my great friend and business owner, Susan from Tilly Vintage, and I absolutely love this. This guy was made in Italy. It has the original stamping there. I used this for a while as my work bag. So this is what I brought onto the floor with me, full of all of my crap. And I have carried her as a clutch before. I like that there's only one little CC down here in the corner, so it's a little bit more discreet. There was originally one here as well too, as you can see from the holes, but it did end up falling out. You can still see obviously the traces of it, but I actually kind of prefer that because it's just a little bit more low-key that way. But it's in a really beautiful lambskin that's laminated gorgeously over time, and I love her. So the next one is an O case, which I know some people count as SLGs and some people count as bags and some people count as this. So I'm not trying to be controversial, but I do carry all of these as handbags, so that's why I threw them in the video together. And that is this guy in the olive. This is from the Cuba collection. I purchased this from Bloomingdale's in New York. It's made in Italy, features the wipe-out lining, and I loved this. I mean, I still love it. I haven't used it in a while, but I do love her, and it's always super fun for spring and summer. Actually, I think I'm going to leave this one out when I'm done recording, and I can start carrying it again. Next is a smaller clutch from Chanel. This was purchased from Luxury Garage Sale here in Chicago, and it's in a really beautiful kind of beige calfskin. Problem with this leather, of course, is that oils, all that kind of thing show up. So you can see some spotting throughout, so I need to kind of give her a little once over there. but it is dual-sided, so there's a camellia on one side and then there's a CC on the other. It also features a camellia on the zip pull. Super simple flat pouch. I've definitely carried this as a bag before, kind of all over, and this is a 5.3 series, so again, she is an older lady, but I love her. She came with the original box, the original dust bag, all the stuff that I am like an absolute freak for, so it's good to have it. Next guy, my Chanel Caviar O case, and this is black with the gold, and then it also has the original burgundy trim. This has stuff inside of it because I use this literally every day of my life. So I went from my wallet on chain to the blue guy to then this, which ironically I've had for a very long time. I purchased this at Neiman Marcus, I think back in like 2015, 2016. So I've had her for a very long time, but I just pulled her out not that long ago because I wanted the inside of my everyday work bag, which is from Mansur Gabrielle, to be a little bit more organized. So I pulled her back out and I use her every day. The leather smells delicious and I love it. If you're looking for a first kind of like bag thing from Chanel to invest in, that's not a $7,000 flat bag, O cases are definitely a great way to go. As you can see, I have a collection of them. I had a couple more that I actually ended up selling just because I wasn't using them. Like I had a boy one, I had a brick one, I had all this kind of stuff. These are great to use. I'm actually going to put that up top because I need to put that back in my work bag. Next one is an actual clutch, and this is in lambskin, and this is from the second Chanel Airways collection. So the most recent one, the Soul collection, and I purchased this one from the Chanel boutique in Chicago from my SA, who I love so much. So shout out to you. And I just love it. It's a big old envelope clutch, quite literally, because it is designed as an envelope, trimmed in red, white, and blue, and then it has a single pocket on the back. I used to be super paranoid about carrying this, but it's not like I'm going to be reselling this anytime soon, so I just started using it, loving it, and she's fabulous. Next guy, moving on to totes. There are 4 things left, I promise, and then we're done. The next one is a brown suede mini tote. This is from the 90s. I need to double check the date of the serial number because I actually wouldn't be surprised if this was also from the hip hop collection. She's super cute. She's super great. She super needs to be cleaned. Sorry about that. But it is in a brown suede, and it features this absolutely ludicrously huge CC, which I love. Turn lock, and I believe this one was made in France. Let me double check. Yep, made in France. So it is brown suede. It features 2 pockets, one on the front, one on the back, and then of course your main compartment, which has 2 zips, and then also has a central compartment that is lined in leather. I love this. I'm always down for a 90s moment, and she's given it to me every day of the week. So for fall, I always break her out. Next one is, and that was purchased from Luxury Garage Sale. Next one, which is also an LGS purchase, is my So Black North-South tote. This bag is so cool. She was also made in France, and it's in patent leather, and then it also features the So Black hardware, which is super cool. Chanel just started reintroducing So Black about a year ago, and everyone's freaking out, so it's funny that I had the OG, and I absolutely love this bag. Everything fits in it. Shoes, O case, keys, bottle of water. Can't do my lunch in it, so it's not like a really good everyday bag. But if I'm going somewhere and this is going to pull it together, I'm reaching for it. And it also has feet, which are like fabulous for patent leather. The next ones are my 2 like big Bubba bags, if you will, from Chanel. The first is my Deauville XL, and I just have a string on it. This is in the traditional denim with the silver hardware. I purchased this guy from the Chanel boutique in Chicago, and the funny story with this one is I kept complaining to my SA that Chanel never made a tote bag that was big enough for me, and every time I went in, buying brooches, buying whatever, oh my god, you guys don't make a bag that's big enough for me, blah 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 blah. Well, I went in one day on, I think it was my lunch break before I was going on a buying trip to New York, and said the same thing, and then what does my SA bring out but this? So I had already had a shopping budget set aside for New York, and pretty much blew it before I even left for New York. So yeah, this is my Denim Deauville. I love her. She is not in the greatest condition, which is fine because I buy stuff, things like this I buy to use. So the fact she's kind of saggy and she's denim and she's got stuff, I don't really care. I'm not interested in reselling it. I'm not worried about resale value. I'm worried about it literally staying together so I can still fit my stuff in it. She's like my ride or die. Love that bag. It's amazing. So then I thought to myself, you know, I don't really have a weekend bag, which is ludicrous because like I work every weekend. So like, why do I need a weekend bag? But I ended up getting the Beige XL Tote. This guy is in coated canvas, and it's also trimmed in canvas with black leather. This thing is a friggin' monster. That's why I love it, is because it's a monster, but like, holy crap, she is large and she is in charge. This thing is in waterproof canvas, guys. I originally bought this thinking like, oh, maybe I need a weekend bag, or like, maybe I just need like a fall tote, like a fall version of my Deauville. And I mean, it is so big that I was literally like, there's no way I can carry this every day. The interior is absolutely massive, and yeah, I love her. I do use it for travel, and it's waterproof canvas, so it's indestructible. The last bag in my collection to talk to you about, the crown jewel, if you will, is the Chanel shopping basket. So this was the runway Minaudier, if you will, from the supermarket collection, which was in 2014. I loved the supermarket collection. It definitely ties for first place with, oh my god, so heavy, with my, with the hip hop collection from Lagerfeld. This guy is done in solid brass, and then it's trimmed with chain. It's absolutely ludicrous, and I fell in love with it the second I saw it on the runway. So one day I was in New York, and I went to Bloomie's because I was working for them at the time, and saw her, and they only bought one. Sorry, there was like a thing on it, and I was like freaking out. They only bought one for the entire company, and she's mine. So this was definitely an investment piece, but I consider it a piece of Carl's legacy. And I also bought a lot of shoes from this collection too that end up going with this guy. I have been ludicrous enough to carry it in public, and will probably continue to do so because cost per wear is important, short of it just sitting in my closet looking cute every day. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm glad I was able to keep this under a half hour, and truthfully also kind of shocked at the same time. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Comment down below with which one was your favorite. Secret insider tip between you and me, there's actually another bag that I have coming. So we'll do a separate video for that. So we're just going to tack another one, a +1 on the amount of bags of however much this is, because I didn't count because it scares me. And that'll be my total handbag collection number. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.